Hi, Carrie. Ashley here. After watching your video, it was kind of reassuring because I was really unsure of the type of therapy that was used in the 3 minute clip, but our answers were pretty similar. So that was really nice and reassuring, as I said, or validating. The first question that was asked about the thinking and behaving goals. My answers were right there with you. He established the thinking goals by asking her, what is she going to think about or what is she going to remember when she leaves? And as you stated, she was going to remember her old partner sabotaging the relationship. She was going to remember not to isolate herself. And ways to feel good about being alone. I had established those same thinking goals. And then I really liked the way that he went about asking them. It wasn't necessarily of like, what are your goals? But what do you, yeah, he just asked her what she was going to do about it. And in the sense of finding the behaving goals. And she was going to, or he had first, before he even went into that, he had basically established, so you have a plan of what you're going to do and with your counselor and how to just explore and discuss this with her. And then he went in and asked, so what are you going to do about this? And she was going to continue the meeting. She was going to try to let him go. As you also, I said the same thing. It was very clear that she was a little bit uncertain about that. She felt a little bit comfortable, and he was incredibly like reassuring and saying, "Okay, so you're not sure, but you're going to do it, and that's little by little and to the best that you can." And he was supportive with her along in that aspect. For question number two, what's the theory being used in what aspects? Excuse me. Of the video suggested that to you. I also thought it was the rational emotive therapy. Not entirely sure, as I said in my video, but I think that the way he's talking about the thinking and the behaving goals, that shows me, and her disputing those irrational thoughts and minimizing that emotional disturbance. It seemed like he was trying to do that with her as well when she was talking about letting him go and not isolating herself. That kind of gave that away to me. But as I said, I wasn't entirely sure. It didn't seem super clear to me in that 3 minute clip. For number three, how are you going to use this approach in your work as a school counselor? Let me see what sorry, I'm just reading over my notes. You were talking about how you would use this with the students and asking them, like, what would they do, helping them kind of create goals towards disputing those beliefs. I also think that this would be really useful with the kiddos in schools and helping them shift their mindset and shift that lens and creating goals around that. Like, what would it look like if you didn't believe this way about, or what if you didn't believe this way about yourself or this way about the situation? So I'm right there with you on that. And then number four, what aspects of the theory would be difficult or easy to implement in your school? You thought it wouldn't be difficult, and it was pretty clear in that it could be used at all grade levels, especially utilizing the ABCs. I think utilizing the ABCs is really good, especially that D and E part that was added later on, because that's where you get the change. I felt like that's where you disrupt and you challenge those self-defeating beliefs. You challenge the kids to shift that perspective, and then from there, from the E, that's when you can kind of identify the consequences or the effect of that shifted belief, that shifted perspective about themselves or the situation or the problem at hand. I thought, for me, I thought it might be a little bit more challenging, especially in the sense of when I think about shifting a belief, that has been kind of or a mindset or a perspective, I feel like that's not such an easy task to do, and it takes and this is me just speaking maybe from experience or from personal experience, so it's not necessarily applicable to everyone, but I think that takes time to shift those kind of beliefs. And as counselors in the school system, we don't necessarily have the capacity to always be there. I mean, we are there, but then there are also other pressing matters. And I think about like all of the other responsibilities with testing and then with crises that come up, and the consistency may not always be able to be as consistent as we want to be or have the time to do it. So that was where I thought maybe this could be a little bit challenging. And then of the theories that were discussed this week, which do you see being the most effective at your grade level? I also thought too I don't know why my screen's really dark, sorry. For the elementary, I also decided that REBT would be the best therapy that I would like to utilize, in the sense that our mindsets and those things are developing at such a young age that practicing shifting and changing that perspective and challenging those self-defeating beliefs is something that would be good to practice, or something that would be beneficial to practice at a young age, so that as kids or as these students grow older, it's familiar to them, it's not new, and they're a little bit more comfortable doing it. Yeah, great video. I'm sorry I went dark for a little bit, but here I am again. I hope you enjoy your Sunday, and I will see you soon. Bye.